Good morning, everyone. That's me, okay. So I usually go by the first name, so Reverend Kaz. So I was serving at Nishi from 2012 to 2019. So I'm kind of like a LA guy, living in the northern part of, like a downtown LA. Okay. Before I begin today's service, I'd like to read one passage. The title is Our Understanding of Jodo Shinshu. Our Understanding of Jodo Shinshu. Please join me, Gasho. Our understanding of Jodo Shinshu. I am one of everyone. I am a part of the world. I always receive help and support from others, which is called other power, to make my life enjoyable. Although I cannot always be kind and gentle to others, others always help me to make my life enjoyable. How grateful I am that other people's help and support appear here and there to make my life enjoyable. When I feel the kindness of others, saying Namo Amida Butsu becomes my expression of deep gratitude. Reverence for Shinran Shoni. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. You know this passage came from? Have you heard these readings? No? Dhamma school teachers? No? That came from here. So since I started ministry in the BCA, so I started working full-time in the BCA ministry in 2003. So after I got the Kaikyoshi in 2001, then I served like Sacramento Betswin, the Ikoji in Virginia, and LA Betswin, and now so I'm technically not the Fresno Betsy minister. So I'm serving a district minister. So I'm in charge of 7 temples in Central. So almost like every month, I'm claiming to my office manager for my mileage is about 2,000 miles. That's how much I'm driving all over. They're also attending like 4 board meetings. You're lucky, just one, right? But anyway, so in that situation, also I continue the adult education and youth educations in Central Cal. So then I go all the different temples and conducting study classes and also online like Zoom session and stuff. Then we always discussing about Jodo Shinshu teachings. Then there's also idea of general Buddhism, right? So then people question how the different Jodo Shinshu between the general Buddhism. So in that discussion, we kind of started forming how we can identify what is Jodo Shinshu. Then this reading was made. So although original passage came from my brain, but I also discussed with the junior Y kids, Dhamma school teachers, Dhamma school students, like second grade kids. So every different age group, I asked how this can adopt it in your everyday life. Then this passage actually talking about awareness. So every sentence say, to make my life enjoyable. To make my life enjoyable. One day I was discussing with the Dhamma school kids and talking about while they were eating a French fry, that they are saying junk food. They say, why you say junk food? They say, well, because everyone talks to me about, that this kind of fast food say junk food. Then I said, well, you are consuming or eating the French fry of what you said. Yeah, I said junk food. What? So someone who are eating junk food becomes junk people? Any meal, whatever you eat, is become nurturing and helping your everyday life. So how you say Like, that's a mindfulness, right? How you say becomes reflecting how you're living. So maybe okay to say fast food because that's prepared in a minutes, right? Not like a mom's meal for like a hour to cook something. But as long as you say junk food, in the long run, you feel like I'm not worthless just because just like an instant and junk. So, in the everyday life, things are help us to feel enjoyable. But if you discount yourself like a junk, you're actually opposite way you're living away from like how you are so lucky and fortunate to live everyday life. So today's first message for the Dharma school kids is try to stop using the term like a junk to say, because you are not eating junk and you are not becoming a junk, right? So I hope you'll try to be more mindful in the everyday life. Okay, that's kind of I try to say in Dharma school kid. Because last 20 some years in the BC ministry, I'm kind of focusing more youth education. Although I do adult Dharma session too. I have about 3 adult Dharma sessions a month that's conducting. And also I'm doing like a weekly youth education. Then just last Monday, I came back from Japan without COVID because I have no symptom, so I hope I'm okay. Then I started taking youth kids from Temple to Japan. I started 2019, just before the pandemic. That time I started to taking the Boy Scouts with a really low expense trip because I made whole trip itinerary. So I made like 2 weeks for $2,000, including everything, airfare, lodging, food, everything. So that way, any kids could go to Japan. So that time, so 2019, I took 27 boys and their parents and scout leaders to go Nishihonganji and also going to the Hiroshima to see the Peace Museum. Then this past Monday, I came back from Japan. This time was a Girl Scouts. So Girl Scout girls. So I will just show the slideshow. So this is the part of the girls went. So girls and parents and scout leaders. So that's took the one of the. So there's a many event during the 2 weeks. So this was one of the bus trip we made to northern part of Japan, especially Sendai. Have you heard Sendai? Sendai is known as a place, the foodie, which is well known for the beef tongue. So that's known as it. So many people go to the Sendai for eatery for the beef tongue. And especially the Sendai is known as the place for the tsunami impact locations. So we did about 2.5-hour trip around the Sendai between the course site. Do you remember Japan had a huge tsunami and earthquake in 2011? Maybe some of you saw the real time on the TV, all the tsunami, the water is just wiped out whole city, right? So today's main topic is a kind of a disaster preparedness, and also what we can learn from that. And also that's how we relate to like a memorial service, what we do in Jodo Shinshu tradition, okay? So June 29th, okay, we are in Sendai. Then we chartered a bus, you see, right? There's behind the windscreen, there's a sticker say Girl Scout in katakana because they prepared Girl Scout. Probably, if you went to the Japan for like a BWA convention or something, they have like a Fujinkai BWA or something, right? So they prepare the same thing for us. The first we visited high school. This is a high school building. Do you see the fourth floor, there's crack? Not the gazebo, okay? Not the gazebo cracked the building. Tsunami hit higher than fourth floor. So actually one of the freezer building container hit the edge of the building, high school building. They destroy the corner. The inside of third floor, car stuck with the mud. So you can imagine how high the water goes. So 2011, the March 11th, around 2:46 p.m., huge earthquake hit in Japan, in north part of Japan. Then tallest tide, tsunami, was 131 feet high. That's about 10th or 13th floor of the building. It's hard to imagine. Just go to downtown Orange County, there's the tall buildings, right? Maybe some of the buildings just wiped out. That huge tide hit the Sendai and Tohoku, the north part of Japan. So that's why four level building is almost nothing. Just deep underwater. So we had many high school students went together in the Girl Scout. They're so shocked. Because, that's kind of after lunch break, they had a fifth period at the high school, the day. Then March 30th, so usually the March is a graduation time in Japan because the Japanese school starts in April and ends in March. So that's kind of end of the school term. So the kids was kind of wrapping up their education and toward to their graduation. Then tsunami hit. So they lost everything. Even they lost all their house, even their parents and grandparents, all the families, just before their graduation. So one of the girl who is a senior, who is accepted at UC Irvine. So maybe the girl may be coming to the OCBC later. But anyway, so the girl said, "Oh yeah, this trip was tremendous. I went to Ghibli Museum and Tokyo Disney Sea and Osaka for eatery and Tokyo and even we went to Hokkaido. It was great. But most memorable was this tour. Because living in California, how many of you remember the Northridge earthquake? Right? But younger generation, never. So they have no clue, how that was a huge earthquake. But that's just only once a decade, right? Japan, every day, they have earthquake. So during my trip for 2 weeks, I don't know how many times I felt like an earthquake. That's volcano country, right? That's why they have a lot of earthquake. Then second place we visited, about 10 miles away from where we started. You see the building, right? Just a frame, metal frame. This is an announcement buildings for emergency. When something emergency happen, then all the officers goes to the second floor. Then they have all the control system, all the PA system. So then when they say something, the whole entire city through the speaker, they can say, "Oh, please evacuate, please evacuate." So this is from the side. So you see the post on the rooftop, right? Then you will see original one. This was the original building. So metal frame with concrete rounded. So they thought they are strong enough building for any disaster. But this was afterward. So you notice that there's another buildings next to it. So this is kind of an office building complex, all different buildings surrounded with this 3-story building. But afterwards, like this, you see nothing around, all wiped out. So this was before March 11th. The picture was taken. Then at the tsunami time, like this, you see the building around is floating. Then all the officers tried upstairs for the rooftop. That was a situation around 3:15. That's about 30 minutes after the tsunami earthquake happened. So at the same the day, about 40 public officers was working on the building. Then when the tsunami hit in 2:46 p.m., one of the young lady, she was 24, who had assigned to make announcement to the whole city. Please evacuate. Please evacuate. Huge tsunami may come. This is emergency announcement. She was making all the announcement. Till 5 minutes before this situation. Then finally, her boss said, "Oh, please get out, evacuate. You're dangerous too." So she finally rushed out from the second floor and rushing up to the rooftop. And tsunami eventually reached the building and washed and soaked the building. Actually, the tsunami went to the post you see, that they have a round antenna, right? That level, the water hit. So after, they had about 40 officers working on the building. After this situation, only 10 survived. So the lady, 24 years old, was not there. She's 24 and she already engaged. Then her wedding is just only 6 months away. So she was not found for a while. So her parents were looking around in all the debris and dirt. Where's my daughter? Where's my daughter? But they were not able to find. Because still at the time, like 1,000 people are missing. Because all the tsunami took these people away from maybe to the ocean. Once go to the ocean, there's no way. But luckily, maybe unfortunately, 2 months later in May, fire department called the parents. "Oh, we found your daughter in the bay." Then they rushed into the fire department station that she was laying on the bed. "Oh, finally." Luckily, but unfortunately, I met you. I finally have you to welcome home. So the parents took her to the home, and they slept together. Afterwards, they're thinking, oh, we don't want to see the frame building like this. Because each time we see the building, we remember my daughter. And also all the suffering and difficulty. So I want the government demolished all building, all completely wiped out, and no memory. First they felt. But a few days later, they decided to conduct her funeral service. So at the time, they were thinking, oh, maybe many people are already disappeared and evacuated all different locations. So maybe no one come to the funeral service. But eventually, many people came to attend her funeral service and said to the parents, oh, thank you so much. If your daughter did not make announcement, like urgently, like screamingly, we maybe did not pay attention what she was saying. Maybe we felt like, oh, maybe like a regular tsunami just hit the beach. But because of her urgent, screaming voices made us to think that's super urgent. So we evacuated. After that, we found out that all our houses are wiped out, all demolished. So if she did not do that, we are not here. Although you lost your daughter, but definitely her voice and announcement saved 1,000 people in the city. So the parents heard many stories, even from the co-worker or boss, how she was doing in the last minutes. Then they felt like so honorable and respect how the daughter was doing during a difficult, critical situation. And also, the parents say, oh, because we decided to do the memorial service, funeral service, people had the chance to say something. If we just quietly did the family service, no one could say anything. So today we are observing Obon service, and also afternoon there's a Hatsubon service too. So some of you maybe attend both services. So in the Buddhist tradition, we always conduct funeral service and memorial services. But these are not duty, no obligation, because in our Jodo Shinshu there is no punishment, right? So if you don't have a memorial service, your bachan won't come out like this, why don't you do that? Then people question, okay, if this is not duty, no obligation, there are no punishment, why we do memorial services or funeral services? Then I said, in the Buddhist tradition, we conduct memorial service and funeral services to remember, appreciate, celebrate, preserve our loved ones' memories. So the family lost the daughter in the tsunami, did funeral service. If they did not have this service, people did not have a chance to express their appreciation and also their memories. So I think in the Buddhist tradition, we always do the memorial service. Is always great opportunity to know about your loved ones. You may think, oh, I know about Bachan 100%. That's not. If her school-age friends attend her funeral service, then they maybe tell, oh, your bachan was, all the yakamashi and, all the different kind of personality, which is totally different from what you remember. So that kind of memorial service is to find a chance to fill your missing puzzle of your loved one. If we can explain someone's memory as 100,000 pieces of puzzles, you may only have 700 or even about 200. But by doing funeral service and memorial services, you may have another piece which you never have a chance to hear from your loved one. So today I did not talk about like Mogarana stories. You may have 1,000 times you heard. But I try to explain why we have any memorial service or many major service. Why we have is listen to the Dharma and memorial service to remember and appreciate how we can aware our appreciation to have everyday life. So I hope everyone take this opportunity to remember and appreciate, celebrate, preserve your loved one's memories as occasion of Obon. Again, thank you so much for attending today's Obon service. In closing, everyone, please join me, Gassho. Our understanding of Jodo Shinshu. I am one of everyone. I am a part of the world. I always receive help and support from others, which is called the power to make my life enjoyable. Although I cannot always be kind and gentle to others, others always help me to make my life enjoyable. How grateful I am that other people's help and support appear here and there to make my life enjoyable. When I feel the kindness of others, saying Namo Amida Butsu becomes my expression of deep gratitude. Reverence for Shinran Shoni. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandabs, 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 namandabs. Thank you so much.